Bullhorn, Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims.
What is shaking bacon? It's nice to see everyone this beautiful Tuesday. I'm here. I'm alive. I've been doing some stuff behind the scenes. I got another video I'm going to be dropping after we're done with this live as well. And actually, by the time we get done with this live, it might be obsolete, right? It might be obsolete because we're going to be going over most of the stuff that I have in that video anyways. It's nice to see you. It's me, Jen, Kellyanne, Sonia, our beautiful Sonia up in the house. Teresa, it's nice to see you. Samantha, good afternoon. Nani, it's great to see you. I glossed right over you, Pebbles. Jeez, Louisa. Tracy, Freeside, it's nice to see you all this afternoon. And for those that are coming in or watching on our replay crew, it's good to see you this afternoon. So before we get started and jump right into the Sebastian Rogers case, we're just going to take a few moments to advocate for another case. This was brought up to my attention from one of our mods here. It's a case that has not received any attention or a lot of attention, and it's right here in the state of Florida. And it is this young girl by the name of Lori Page. And I just wanted to just take a few moments to advocate for her story because she has been missing for a while, and they are doing water searches. We're going to touch on the two women that are missing, and then we're going to get into the Sebastian Rogers case. We're going to have a little video.
Here's the plan. You sneak past the guards and grab the treasure. What are you going to do? I'm going to shop at thriftbooks.com.
Hopefully it's a little more than, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just showing you that. All right. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll just read what it has here. It says Tallahassee police sent dive team to search Lake Esther in Capital City Tuesday as part of their efforts to locate a missing middle schooler. Lori Page, 12 years old, was last seen in San Luis Mission Park on June 2023, so it has been a significant amount of time. Exactly a week after nearly 100 people searched the wooded park for the student, TPT quietly deployed Leon County Sheriff's Office dive team to search the lake there for her. So right now, since 2023, there hasn't been any signs, and there she is right there. Let's see if this one has any kind of information on it.
I don't smoke in front of the family. I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. Not only do you hide it from yourself, but you hide it.
And again, this is coming to you because, again, one of our mods thought this case had not received enough attention, which it had not. There's my bell.
It has now been over 260 days since Lori Page was last seen. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Julie Montanaro.
And I'm Jacob Murphy. Today, police and firefighters joining together to search for Lori Page in a Tallahassee park.
Page was reported missing in June of last year. She was last seen June 3rd at Continental Court. A month later, we spoke with police and one of Page's teachers at Griffin Middle School. That investigation continued, but there were no updates. Today, the FBI announcing a $15,000 reward for information in the case. They're also setting up billboards in 3 states. And dozens of people participating in a search earlier in the day for the 12-year-old girl. It is the 5th search so far.
All right, so that just advocates for that particular case, Lori Page. If you guys have any information to the whereabouts of Lori Page, please reach out to the Tallahassee Police Department. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is a case that we are starting to cover. This is related to Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. They went missing under suspicious circumstances. Veronica was going to a scheduled supervised visitation with her kids when they disappeared. Their car was found about 3 miles from their destination. 3 miles from their destination. However, the people at her destination said that her, as well as the preacher's wife, which is Jillian Kelly, never made it. So serious allegations here related to this. And there is, we do have a Facebook page that has been set up. We're going to go ahead and drop the link. It's right here. If you guys have any information, please reach out to the police department, obviously. But if you would like to be a part of the discussion group related to Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly, please consider coming over there and joining up. And now, without further ado, we are going to get to the Sebastian Rogers case. Thank you for giving me a few moments just to advocate for a couple of other cases. So this right here was a segment that was done right before the press conference. This was done with Nick. And I was a little taken back by this sheriff's bluntness, like absolutely unwillingness to talk about the case, saying they adamantly saying they have absolutely nothing for this case. And because of the way that they were saying, because of the way this sheriff was so pointed, it to me feels like there's more there under the surface. You know, it could be wishful thinking. Of course it could be wishful thinking. I'm just really personally hoping that Sebastian Rogers is found. I want him found. I want him found safe. You know, I don't think that there's anybody right now here on my channel that is not advocating for the safe return of this child. However, with that being said, this to me is suspicious circumstances. We've got a child that doesn't leave a house without shoes, that left a house without shoes. It's very perplexing to me being in this particular business where we talk about true crime on a daily basis, all day, every single day, and knowing that what we know about sniff dogs, about the dog process in general, about their training, about all these things, and to think that somebody walked out the door with bare feet on, skin to skin contact with hard surfaces, from the grass to the gravel pavement to the sidewalks to the roadways. Skin to skin contact with hard surfaces, yet there are no there's no scent. So that's the first thing that I thought was very peculiar going into this case. But again, you know, I stepped back and said, you know, because we do this all the time. So naturally, when we hear cases like this, our mind goes right to where we think it's going to go in the end of this, right? Because we do this so much. But sometimes you just need to take a step back and say, okay, you know, open your mind. Let's see what falls in, right? And this is a case that as it kept going, more and more suspicion started raining down on the stepfather and the mother. And while we're trying to sit here and search for this boy, and while, you know, we should not be focusing, our focus should be 100% Sebastian Rogers. But the problem here is that everything has been searched in a 5-mile radius. Okay, thoroughly searched in a 5-mile radius. So if we had this entire area that has been thoroughly searched in a 5-mile radius, it's telling me that he would be outside that 5 miles. I mean, that's what logical thinking would tell you.
It doesn't necessarily mean that law enforcement or somebody else didn't miss something and that it's possible. Of course it is. Of course it is. But because of that, because of how far out now that we know this goes, it is making it almost impossible because they had that area, that 5-mile area, searched very quickly. You're talking about a boy that is autistic, that has engagement issues. Okay. So that means he doesn't engage with people normally. He has boundary issues and personal space issues, right? And he has comfort levels. So, in order to maintain a calm demeanor, things have to be a certain way. And what we are being led to believe in this case is those things, for whatever reason, aren't this very specific and certain way, but yet no foul play is involved. Now, there's a few things that the sheriff did say that rang true to me. And it was about social media, and of course, social media always gets a bad rap, right? We always get a bad rap. It is what it is. I think law enforcement needs to work better with social media instead of condemning it, because at the end of the day, we're not going anywhere. And there's got to be some type of working relationship here instead of condemnation. However, with that being said, they are, I don't know how the best way to put this is. They're basically saying that there's no foul play here, but they can't rule out anybody because they don't know anything yet. But let's listen to this, because there's a lot in his body language that's going to make me say a lot about this. Oh, I know what I was getting at. The social media thing. So they're saying that that social media is really hindering their investigation. So what I think they mean by this, and I think this is what they mean each and every time, and I think it took me a little while to get it. The bottom line is we analyze these cases openly and publicly on social media, okay? Whereas our mainstream media usually run these cases and clips of these cases or segments of these cases, say on the 5 or 6 o'clock news, right? We analyze these cases, we dive into these cases, we dissect these cases, we sleuth for information in places that normal people don't know they have access to public information at. That's what we do. So what's happening is I think when law enforcement says that we're interfering, it's because of the discussion of the cases. The people and suspects and persons of interest watch us do this, watch us dissect this. So when you have a cooperating witness or person of interest that doesn't know they're a person of interest, they're trying to extract information and keep them cooperative and keep them from lawyering up, right? And I think what we're doing is dissecting these things and calling the people out because they need to be called out. And I think that that's what's hindering the investigation, because these people that would be normally open to speaking to them are now closing down and lawyering up because they're like, oh shit, we got some problems here. We can't even fool social media. That's what I truly think is happening. Now, does that mean that's what he was talking about? No, that's what I think he was talking about. But either way, we're going to get over here to this, but I want you to pay very, very close attention to this man and how he's speaking. He is not happy speaking to Nick. I'm like, this guy looks really irritated. And I couldn't figure it out at first, but as soon as I said he looked really irritated, it dawned on me he's talking to Nick. And it's my understanding that over that video that had the lights and stuff, he pissed law enforcement off, right? He just pissed them slap off. It doesn't look like this sheriff is really eager to speak with him or have this sit down, but is begrudgingly doing it anyways. And watch how he treats Nick.
About an update on the search for Sebastian Rogers. Just, this is the first time we've heard from you in a while, and that's because you guys have been busy investigating.
That's right.
Anything new to report at this stage?
No, sir.
Nothing. 5 weeks.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Out of 5 weeks, not a shred of forensic evidence. He's saying We don't have any phone evidence. We don't have any data on vehicles. We haven't issued any subpoenas. We haven't received the results of any subpoenas. We have no information. That's what he's trying. This is why I said he is really pissed off at Nick, because he wouldn't be having this stone. Look at his face. He doesn't want to be here with you, Nick. He doesn't like you. He's pissed off at you. You need to send him some, I don't know, maybe some scotch with a I'm sorry card. Might get you some brownie points. I don't know, Nick. I'll work with you. He doesn't seem like he's really too pleased with you. Just saying, my friend.
Just asking, what is being done at this point? What does the public need to know that you continue to do?
We continue to investigate and follow up on every tip or lead that comes in.
Any other?
Do you see what I'm talking about with his body language? Like, we're just investigating the tips. You know, that's it. Nope, got nothing at all. Okay.
Evidence of foul play?
There's no evidence to support foul play.
But you can't rule it out necessarily. You're ruling nothing out at this point.
That's right. I'm ruling nothing out.
And as far as the public, what you could ask them to continue to do?
Remain vigilant. If they see something, say something. Call 1-800-TBI-FINE or 615-451-3838 with any tips or leads.
Okay. We'll have much more on this.
So, again, I don't know how I feel about his responses. I don't know if I believe this law enforcement officer. I just don't know it. I don't know. I'm just going to say I don't know. I don't believe they have nothing. You know what I believe, and this is probably one of those things where we start screwing with the integrity of the investigation. And I'm sorry, Sheriff, but that's what we have. You got to work with me, and I got to work with you, okay? We got First Amendment stuff here, and I'm just going to exercise it a little bit here. But when you have somebody like Chris Proudfoot that's so busy trying to make everybody think that he is this shining star that has no issues, right? He's reaching out to TBI saying, hey, TBI, can you tell people we can't talk to you? And they're like, okay, let me go out here. And they do a post that the family reached out to them to ask them not to have to do any press conferences. And I'm like, did TBI just do that? Yeah, they did. So, I mean, those are types of things that I look at. And it does help guide me. Right? So we've got TBI saying, no, you know, they asked us to do this, right? And then you've got Chris constantly wanting to sue somebody. Like if he doesn't like it, you know, people saw him out when he told everybody we're not allowed to leave the house. We can't go out and search for Sebastian because law enforcement told us to stay put. And so when we found that he was at a freaking barbecue place, he throws a temper tantrum and decides to hightail it out of town, right? And blame it on people's threats, right? That must be the name of the game. These threats that everybody seems to have, but nobody seems to report to law enforcement. I don't know. When I get threatened, I typically report it some way, some shape, somehow that I've been threatened. You know, I record it somewhere. I don't just, you know, come online and say, hey, I've been threatened. Actually, as a matter of fact, all the threats I've received, I don't think I've come online one time to tell you how I was threatened. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you. So it's funny to me, and the reason why I'm saying this is because, you know, that Cajun Navy, that crazy Cajun Navy, that crazy Navy, you know, nonprofit organization that likes to steal other nonprofit organizations' histories and tout them as their own for profit. Yeah, that one. Well, apparently, there was no reports of life-threatening threats made upon them to law enforcement. What? Out of mainstream media writing 15 million articles about how they were threatened? No, what it was a scam. They came in, they got donations, they got caught with their pants down, they needed an exit strategy, all of a sudden their lives have been threatened and they're gone. See how that went? Cajun Navy is a joke. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. The United Cajun Navy
is a joke. We still have Cajun Navy 2016. Just want a big shout out to them because they truly are the people that we thought the United Cajun Navy were. Okay? Again, they were sold the sizzle, not the steak. When we got the steak, we had what? Rump roast. Okay, let's get on with this.
Susan Nyland, SUSAN NILAND, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. She's the PIO. I also have with me Sumner County Emergency Management Director Ken Widener, KenWeidner.
I don't think I like this one. This one's too low.
Ready?
I guess we
All
can.
right.
Can you guys hear?
Morning. I'm Eric Craddock with Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and we're going to come to you today with an update on the Sebastian Rogers case.
Sure got this all.
Sebastian has
Can you
been
guys hear
missing since
okay?
late February.
I hit pause. Did it pause? I think I missed a pause. No? Yes? You guys can hear okay? Okay, some say you can. Let me see what else I got. Hold on a second. Let me go over here. Give me just a second. Oh, I guess I can let you guys see my pretty little face. Smiling and shining. Yay! Living the dream, my friend. Living in the dream. Okay. So let's come over here and see if I can find the press conference. Because I know I had it. Ooh, I think I do. Hold on here. No, I did not send it. Shit. Give me just a second. Press conference. I know there was a couple people, and I wanted channel 4. That's the one that I ran, that I saw the press conference on was channel 4, and all I can see here, there's channel 5. I think channel 5 was good too. That's 4 weeks ago. Here we go. That's it. Channel 4. Give me just a second, guys. I'll get there. Live. Sebastian. There it is. Images. Oh, yeah. I can tell it's much better.
I am Eric Craddock, ERIC-CRA.
You guys can hear that better, right?
I'm the Chief Deputy at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined today by Susan Nyland, SUSAN NILAND, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. She's the PIO. I also have with me Sumner County Emergency Management Director Ken Widener, KenWeidner. You guys ready? All right.
Let me see if Nick has got.
Morning. Eric Craddock, Sumner County Sheriff's Office.
You guys can hear okay, right?
An update on the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian has been missing since late February. The investigation remains ongoing with steadfast support from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local and federal resources.
Actually, it's right. Yes. Okay. Good.
We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. As I said before, the investigation remains ongoing.
Sorry.
The entire community is deeply saddened by what has occurred. We're all.
Give me just a second. I don't know what just happened here. Hold on a second.
I want to encourage the community.
Mine
to
just
stay
went
vigilant
out. Hold on a
and
second.
report anything that they think may be of some.
Oh, good heavens. Heavens to Betsy. I don't know if you guys can still hear it or not, but my sound just went out. Give me just a second.
All right. I am Eric Craddock.
Naturally. I don't know what just happened, but my sound just went out. Did it go out for you guys too? All right. Well, either way, we'll go over here to Nick's. I think this will be better sounding. All of my sound is out. Guys, hold on just a second. Okay, there it is. Can you guys hear that?
SUSAN NILAND, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. She's the PIO. I also have.
What is going on with my audio? This is driving me absolutely insane. My audio just went out. I don't know what's going on. Let's see if this will work. There we go. We're going to have to deal with this one.
Before the investigation remains ongoing.
I wonder if I have an internet issue that I'm not. It's echoing. Hold on a second. Let me go over here to my settings. Audio. I don't know why it would be. Speakers. Okay. Well, I turned the echo cancellation off. Maybe I don't know. Does this?
The entire community is deeply
It is
saddened
still
by
echoing?
what has occurred. We're all extremely concerned for Sebastian's welfare. I want to encourage the community to stay vigilant, to report anything that they think may be of some significance to the investigation, no matter how minute it may appear to be to you. Please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with any tips, or the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838. We understand the anxiety and the concern that this case has caused in the community. We too share the anxiety and concern for Sebastian. I want to reiterate that we are.
I can't understand. Are we saying it's still echoing? Yes, it's still echoing, or no, or yes, it sounds fine. I don't know what. You guys aren't clear with me. Are we echoing? Are we not echoing? I don't know what you're saying. Hey, Turkey Man, it's nice to see you, love. It's good on your end? It was echoing. Okay, well, I can't help it. I've done everything that I can possibly do to get the echoing off. If it's still echoing, it's echoing. There's nothing I can do. I don't know what to do. I have nothing but audio issues anymore, so it's... What do we do?
We're doing everything we can to find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back. Our commitment to finding Sebastian remains. We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the individuals who helped us in the search. The many individuals
let's not call in.
The many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian. At this time, I'll turn it over to Susan Allen from the TBI.
I just made some adjustments.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. We know how invested everybody is in the search for Sebastian, in finding out what happened to him and bringing him home. And we want to let everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him.
You know what?
At the beginning of this investigation, there was a large land search
No
for
offense.
him.
No offense. No offense. No offense to law enforcement. But I'm so sick of hearing that. We haven't forgotten about him. We're not giving up on him. I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with you. We heard that with Summer Wells. We heard that with all these other audio's better now. Yeah, I just made some adjustments. We just heard all of this once before. We heard all of this before. So it's not, to me, it's not giving me comfort. When we're talking about a 15-year-old boy that's been gone for a month and there's literally not even a single freaking scent of him. It's as if his whole entire being disintegrated and then blew away. There's not even a scent, folks. We're going to get to that in just a second. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a jerk, but I'm tired of hearing that statement from TBI. Like, TBI at this point for me is sounding like a broken record with all these cases that keep not getting solved at their hands. And we keep hearing that they're not being forgotten, but what about Summer Wells? Because she sure seems like she was forgotten. Just saying. Call me crazy. Many do.
It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds that were searched. There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work. Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads. We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had in other jurisdictions who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then.
But your chief just, or your chief or your police sheriff, excuse me, your sheriff just told us you don't have any information. And this person's telling us all the videos they have. I mean, a month has gone by. You got nothing? Like nothing? Nothing.
Review them. It's important so we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that.
So we got the FBI, we got Secret Service, we've got all these outfits, but no new information. How is that possible? How can a 5'5", 120-pound boy just disappear with all these security cameras, CCTV footage, Ring doorbell cameras, just like this lady says? How is that possible? How is that possible? Somebody make it make sense. We're going to turn the phones open here in just a little bit. Make it make sense to me. And where is Sebastian Rogers? How is any of helping find Sebastian? And they're not giving us any idea of where to even focus groups to look. It's like they've got us aimlessly out there in Tennessee, just praying and hoping we find, like, we got to put this all together. They're not even guiding the volunteers. They're just saying, be vigilant, help us, see something, say something, get out there and look. But we're not going to help you with anything. We'll just, if you want to look. If you don't. I mean, it's so disheartening, and I just feel like that. But you know what? Again, you know my stance. I think people in Tennessee need to vote better. I think you guys need to start funding your law enforcement, because this is getting freaking ridiculous. And you know what? It is glaring there for people like me that are covering these cases, and we've got 4 freaking wide open cases. And you know, that's only the cases we're covering. It would turn my stomach to look under the hood at this point, in my opinion. Turn my stomach.
So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout. At the beginning of the investigation, they have.
And it was noted, if you guys did not watch, you guys know I have like this major life rattling crush on Vinnie Politan. No, I don't have a crush on him, but you guys know I love him. He's like a BFF to Bullhorn Betty, right? Vinnie Politan. And, he brought up a valid point. He's been doing this a long time. I mean, a lot of people use common sense. A lot of people can read through the BS, right? And he brought up a point. You know who else was also cooperative in the investigation of their missing child? Do you know? Casey Anthony. She was exonerated, though. But I can tell you, none of us believe she was innocent. She got off from this, she got off for that. They played the case well. They played a game of chess, not and a game of chance. Not a game of reality.
Pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But
yet we're in a criminal investigation. There's not a criminal. I want people to understand what they're saying here, because on one hand, we know that this moved to a criminal investigation weeks ago.
when they called off the search and decided to start refocusing their search efforts. Remember that? They said this case is moving into a different case. This is moving into a criminal investigation. Yet there's no criminal element. What am I missing here? Maybe I'm blending two cases. Maybe they're not in a criminal investigation. Maybe they're still in a missing person status for the last month. I don't know, but I could have sworn that I recall when they said that they were reducing their search efforts and refocusing their search efforts, that this case is now moving over to an investigation, a criminal investigation. I could have sworn they said criminal investigation, but you know what? I was also, that little boy right there, that's Elijahville. The same thing was said about him. So I might be mixing the cases up. But I'm a little fishy with the wording that they're saying here.
We are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now, so we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation.
I just want to say, listen to what they're saying, because I know everybody likes to say, oh, look what Bullhorn Betty did. I didn't do anything. Trust me, I haven't done anything. I haven't gone anywhere. I've been stuck here for the last month, right? I don't even have a car. I'm down like 4 flat tires here at Casa Bullhorn. So apparently there's somebody out there saying that they have this groundbreaking information about the case. I haven't personally heard it. I've heard it both ways. I've heard somebody saying that they have evidence to prove that he's alive. And then I have somebody saying that they know exactly where he's at. This is social media. You guys are going to have to weed through the BS, okay? I don't think either of those statements are true. But law enforcement is adamant that somebody is playing hocus pocus on social media, and it's causing some heartburn in the investigation. That's what I'm hearing.
I just want to reiterate that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete.
Okay, why are we paused? It's still running. So it must have been paused on their end. Let's see. Come on. And move. And move. There we go.
Because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculations and theories, and some of that has been advanced and people have caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening.
I want to also put a disclaimer on here. Whatever you hear across social media, listen, I say this all the time. I'm going to say it loud and proud. If you do not have the firsthand knowledge, okay, you hear something on social media, do not call it into law enforcement. I can promise you, if it is coming out on social media, the person, if it's real, the person has already called it in. You don't need to call it in. You don't need to double check on it. You don't need to do it. If you do not have firsthand knowledge or know specifically who does have firsthand knowledge, such as your cousin on your mother's side was told by Aunt Millie, 2 doors down that cousin Robbie did it. Well, you send law enforcement over to Aunt Millie, or you have Aunt Millie call 911 or provide that information. You don't provide that information unless Aunt Millie absolutely refuses to come forward. We want people with firsthand knowledge and accurate information. If you think you see something on social media, reach out to the people and ask them if they have reached out to law enforcement. So, literally sounds exactly, it's the same diatribe, social media did it, I'm just sick and tired of it. The bottom line is if law enforcement, if they're going to keep doing this, it's going to be pushback. I hate to burst your bubble, but the bottom line is people are ditching mainstream media. So you guys can sit there and keep, wanting your mainstream media, your very controlled mainstream media, or you guys can get off your high horse and realize we're not going anywhere, and you guys would be better off working with us instead of insulting us each and every press conference, because I can tell you I'm working very hard to make sure that we provide accurate information, but I'm not going to stop people from theorizing, speculating, or anything else. That's a violation of the First Amendment to the Constitution. I don't think people should be reaching out to people. I don't think people should be mean to people. You know, I think that the reason why we have these chats is to let you guys get your anger and frustration and your opinions out here, so you're not going to these people's homes or filling up their inboxes. We're giving you an outlet to get some of that stuff off your chest. We don't want you going to the family. We don't want you calling them. We definitely, just because even me, just some Joe Blow on social media says, they did it, doesn't mean they did it. Okay? Doesn't mean they did it. We need we need this thing called evidence here in America. We need this thing called evidence. We have this thing called due process, and we need to let that process roll out the way it's going to roll out. However, I'm going to say this stuff stinks to high heaven, and ain't nobody going to tell me I can't say that. You don't like it? Change the channel. I don't know what to tell you.
That has resulted in us getting information that is either, like I said, distracting. It's taking away time and effort from what the agencies need to be doing as far as looking for Sebastian.
And you know what also is taking away from that? When you have to come out here and tell people that you can't do your job because social media is becoming a distraction. Look, we all have distractions in every single one of our jobs. My distraction's law enforcement. Their distractions me. Okay? It is what it is. So, you've got to play in the same field here. But the bottom line is they just can't keep insulting social media. It ain't working. And not only that, the people that are conspiracy theorists, honey, I hate to burst your bubble, they're going to continue to be conspiracy theorists after this case. There's just different breeds of social media, but we're not all the same. We're just different breeds, that's all. And trust me, we got to accept it whether we like it or not.
We have had so far, as of this morning, 314 tips.
314 tips, y'all. That's not enough. That's not enough tips. Let's talk about this. I don't mean to keep stopping this stuff, but that's just not enough tips. 314 tips in a month? In a month? We had like 2,000 tips in like 7 days in the Moscow case. How do we only have 314 tips in this case? And if they only have 314 tips, why are they complaining that they're being? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with law enforcement. But either way, we need to be getting tips into them. I don't know who's out there in this area. You guys need to hit the pavement. We need shoe leather work on this. I'm in Florida. I mean, if I could be in Tennessee, like I do the happy dance right now. If I can be in Tennessee, because there's some bushes I want to look in.
Say it again, it's 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are also taking tips through email, which is tips to TBI, TBI, at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information. Now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing.
Let me just take a poll in here, okay? How many people by the shows of ones and twos, okay? Who believes this boy ran off and is hiding? If you believe he's ran off and he's hiding, please put a number 1 in the chat. If you think something else, doesn't matter what else, doesn't matter whether you think it's nefarious or something else, put a 2 in the chat. But if you think he ran off, if he literally walked out his door and left, put a 1 in the chat. Anything else, put a 2. Okay. Yeah, that's my thoughts too. I'm just like, I keep going through. The problem is I keep going back and forth. I keep thinking, okay, I know I have this thing in me that's telling me that there's something sticking to high heaven. And my common sense is telling me that it's somebody that, because how sheltered he was, it's got to be somebody that knew him. There's no other plausible explanation for this, no matter how you look at this, whether he walked out the door or something else happened. Whatever it was, somebody would have known him. It's not somebody unfamiliar to him, period. So now that we have that established, in my opinion, again, that in and of itself is my speculation, my theory, right? That there's no possibility of anybody else. I just can't see it because of everything that the parents have told us as fact. So I'm taking everything that they're saying when I'm applying this. It doesn't seem like he just walked right out the door. But if he did, he would have been coaxed out. And for him to be coaxed out of that house, he would have had to know who the person was. Period. So if you have him around nobody other than family, and we apply the common sense, if he was coaxed out of the house, somebody he knew would have had to do it. And if he wasn't coaxed out of the house, somebody he knew would have had to do it. Now that you can apply that standard there, there's no other option than somebody knows something that knows him. Now, I'm not saying it's his mommy, I'm not saying it's his stepdaddy, and I'm not saying it's his daddy. But somebody in that family knows something. Somebody. So now that we take that and we apply that theory that somebody knows something, now we have to look at everybody that was in and around Sebastian before he left. So the people that were in and around Sebastian before he left were 2 aunts, a cousin, mommy, and him. And a waitress or 2, or an attendant at the bowling alley, or a cashier. That's it. That's his day. Okay? Those are the people. That's it. According to all the statements provided. So, it limits the pool for me. It limits the pool greatly for me of who could have possibly done this. It's no longer this big, huge world. It's this small group of people. That's it.
Or ledges where a teen could have gone to hide or to play.
Hey, Justin.
And you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you or to check it out themselves. We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people.
And we're sick of hearing that nonsense too. That's word salad. I don't like word salad. I don't live in the area of word salad. I don't like word salad, okay? Let's listen to one of the searchers. Let's listen to one of the searchers. This is the problem for me right here. This is the problem for me.
All right, our top story this half hour. It's been nearly 1 week since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing over in Sumner County. Our Jaxie Pigeon live at the command center this morning with the very latest developments. And Jaxie, we understand reward money is now on the table.
That's right, Blake. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office tells us that a group of local investors invested.
A group? I want to put this back out there. A group of local investors, okay? Not mommy, not daddy, not stepdaddy, okay? Now, mind you, Seth has taken off work. He hasn't been working. He's been out there hitting the pavement every single day. But rich old mommy and stepdaddy have not even put one single dollar toward the reward fund. It has been business owners that have pledged the money. That pisses me off. And I'm not meaning this for Seth. I'm talking about the Proudfoot family. Not one single dollar, not one poster posted, not one search conducted. Them.
Minimum of $3,000 toward any information that would help investigators in finding Sebastian Rogers. I now want to bring in EMA Director with Sumner County, Ken Widener. Ken, as we near this week-long
you to
search
listen to
effort.
this.
Where are you focusing starting today?
Well, we keep expanding. So we've expanded west and we're expanding north. We just keep expanding the search area and we're bringing different teams in. Yesterday we had a group from East Tennessee come in. They're mountainous experts and they do caves. And so we've had any cave that we've marked, we've had them in those caves. The city of Gallatin has done all the storm drains in the area.
Somebody was asking about the storm drains, so we definitely have confirmed the storm drains have been cleared.
Cameras, so we keep expanding and just throwing everything that we can at it to try to get him located.
In terms of the search, you said you've been expanding. About how much ground have you covered?
We're close to 5 miles now. Now the further south you go towards Hendersonville, we get into city, and we would expect he would be located or seen if he were in the city. And we've gone into the city, sort of in the fringe, in the more not as urban areas of Henderson, but we've been all the way to the lake on the streams that travel to the lake. We've been to the lake.
And you have over 300 searchers here.
Well,
Yesterday
we had 330 on the ground, and then we'll run the numbers later today on how many come in today, and we run that as the day goes on.
And 43 years in law enforcement, you told me. What does this experience look like in terms of people coming together to help out in this one mission to find Sebastian Rogers?
Well, one thing about Tennessee and the Southeast is we're always going to have people that want to help, and we get calls from across the state for people that want to come in and help us. And the thing that we've got to do is be able to manage that. So we track everybody that's on the ground. The first 2 days we did 2,000 miles of people walking. And we haven't run those numbers for the entire duration of this operation, but it's great, and to be able to call in specialized groups that do the things that we can't do is really good.
And what keeps you going as you're keeping going after this week just to find Sebastian Rogers? How do you keep going, you and your team?
Oh yeah, just the drive to find him. We'll go talk to the parents in a little while, and every morning we sit and talk to them. We're going to do everything for them and for Sebastian to get him located.
Thank you so much, Ken. If you do have any information.
So that's not really the one I wanted, but it was the one that it looks like the same guy that I saw interviewed. Maybe he interviewed later or something, and he was just so perplexed because they couldn't find even 1 cent of this boy, but yet he left his house barefoot. It doesn't make sense. Even if the scent had shifted, this is not a shifting scent. This is no scent at all. And that to me is just bizarre, because think about it. Any place that he went or left that weekend, they never walked out the door. They most likely went out the garage, got in the vehicle, and left. So the last scent of him that would have been, and that's if he actually walked to school, would have been the last time he actually walked out of that house. Actually out the front door. Because if he left in the car and they went to the garage, then the scent would be at that garage door into that car. It wouldn't have left because he would have gotten in the car and the car would have drove off, leaving no scent outside. And so they're saying they had no scent. Like it didn't even sound like they had old scent. They had no scent of him outside of that house, it sounds like. And then with law enforcement being so very pointed, and they were very, very pointed about having absolutely no information whatsoever. So how could they have no information whatsoever but going through all of this evidence? They're contradicting themselves. So applying that would, to me, would mean that they have a lot of information that they're holding to their chest for a variety of reasons. And for me, it's most likely because somebody is involved that's close to this case and they cannot afford to have information leaked. And I think that by even me saying that is putting them in a predicament, because it's going to probably make somebody possibly consider clamming up, getting lawyering up and protecting themselves, which is going to cause problems. But again,
We need to find out what happened to Sebastian. And it's hard to try to locate Sebastian without locating the players that were near and around Sebastian. And so right now, there's two. There's two different areas you have to look. One's Clarksville, because if he ran away from home, the chances of him trying to make it to his dad's house are probably great. So we got to look at the path of travel to Clarksville, and we have to look at the path of travel to Memphis. In my opinion, those are the two paths we must look at, and we must find viable areas to search going to those two paths. You're talking about a huge, huge, huge amount of land to cover. And this is why I hope people across social media, we need those corridors, those main corridors going to Clarksville and going to Memphis, I-40, all the little dirt roads off there, those all could be searched. People can get their own search parties. You don't need a coordinated effort. All you need is a few friends and say, hey, we're going to go out. This is going to be our area that we're going to search today. And go out there and search the area until you can't search anymore. Clear it off your thing. Go post it in a Facebook chat that this is an area that you were at and there's nothing there. So now that other people know that there's nothing there, not to worry about wasting their time searching that area again. Move on to the next area. All of these places, if you're in Tennessee, you want to know where to search, go look at your map. See if you're in between Hendersonville and Memphis or Hendersonville and Clarksville. Start looking at the map. You're looking at desolate areas. You're looking at paths that he would be walking. So any place along a place that you think he would walk, you need to check. Any place that you think, because we don't know what happened to him, so we have to get a little grim here. Any place that you think would be a good dumping site. We don't know what happened to this boy. He could be standing up, walking and talking, and he could not be. We need to search as if both are happening. It's not an easy task, but I know one thing. This is, if nothing more, this is what I know. I know Tennessee is not the state I would ever want to go missing in and not be found. Because nothing will ever get done. Out of everything that I know, that's what I know. I know nothing about nothing, but I know that. That is not a state I would ever want to go missing in. I don't trust TBI. I'm sorry. I know people are going to probably, I can't believe it. But we keep watching this over and over again. We keep hearing the same exact words over and over again from case to case. Yes, they keep going unsolved, and yet nobody is held accountable for any of these people, any of these victims. These are victims. This is real life. Somebody's missing, somebody's gone, somebody may be dead. And all these cases are left open, but yet we're supposed to let the professionals do their job. Well, I can tell you, I've been letting professionals do their job for 3 years. And right now, Summer Wells' case is still active and open and a cold. We did exactly what law enforcement asked of us in that case. We took our foot off their neck. And you know what happened as soon as we did that? The case went cold. So while I appreciate law enforcement in Tennessee telling social media how horrible they are, I'll withhold my judgment out of courtesy to you. We need these cases solved. We need law enforcement doing the hard work. And you know what? I think just a little bit, we need our law enforcement to kind of be a little more aggressive than they're doing, because I got to tell you, this Southern approach, this nice guy approach that we keep doing from case to case and not throwing the weight around, like arresting people for low-hanging fruit and letting them know exactly who TBI is or who law enforcement is, who wears the pants. Until Tennessee is ready to do that, we're going to keep having these cases that get nowhere, and social media is going to keep getting blamed as to why they can't get solved. Well, my thing is to law enforcement out in Tennessee is maybe unplug from social media and do your damn job. and quit allowing social media to distract you from doing that. Because putting the blame on social media is like me telling you my cat ate my homework. We're sick and tired of the excuses. We have the phones open, 724-249-6140. If you'd like to call in and let me know how you feel about this case, maybe some of your perspective. We're not going to tell people that they can't talk about this case. We're not going to tell people not to share. We're not going to tell people not to give their perspective because we don't know what happened to this boy. And quite frankly, if my car's back, I'm going to be out there searching this weekend. And if I'm out there searching this weekend, I want to make sure that my searching is for a purpose. I want to make sure that I'm not just out there doing busy work, that I'm doing real work that's going to make an impact on this case and an impact on finding Sebastian Rogers. Because at the end of the day, with all the drama, all the bullshit, all the nonsense that Chris and Katie keep pouring into this case that's unnecessary, like instead of them getting off their ass, them just get off their ass and go look for their kid. That would be less distracting if we actually saw them out there doing what Seth's doing. Maybe we can quit being so distracted on their behavior. Just a thought. Just a thought. But the bottom line is at the end of the day, it's about Sebastian, and we need to find him. And it's a needle in the haystack right now. We don't know where he's at. We don't know where he was going. We don't know who has him. We don't know who may have done something to him. Right now, we have a blank chalkboard that needs to be filled with some information. And we have two parents that are unwilling to help. That's all I know about this case. I know nothing else. I know that he's out there somewhere. I know Seth needs our help. If I see Chris or Katie and I have an opportunity to ask them, I will be very respectful to them. I am going to still lend out my hand and say, when I get there, I'm going to be searching for your son, and I hope you join in with me and the rest of us as we search for him. It would sure be a pleasant surprise. I'll say that. This is Betty.
Betty?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Linda Lou from Tennessee.
Well, our beautiful Linda Lou, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm just watching your video. I was thinking about this little Sebastian. You're right about our law enforcement here in Tennessee. It is terrible.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I was thinking I should get these our people here in Knoxville, Tennessee. They seem to go after the ones that they need to go after. They've got some good TBI and district attorneys here in Knoxville, but I don't understand. What I think they need to do, and people might get mad at me, might say all kinds of things, but we need what they need. If you have a child missing, if God gives you a child and you have it missing, you need to be arrested and put in jail.
Yeah, I surely
because
believe
you don't know where that kid is at, and you are responsible for that child.
Unless you can prove that your child was abducted. I mean, but right now we've got this. Well, there's no foul play. Well, what do you call it? I don't know what the rest of the world calls it, but when a 15-year-old boy disappears and is never seen again, and there's no scent for him, I would say that seems pretty foul play to me.
It sure does, and I don't understand. Her testimony changes every time they get in front of cameras. Mm-hmm. She messes up and says something out of the way, or he does. And right there, if TBI can't see there that they've got discrepancies in their testimonies at each time, there's something wrong right there. But they do. They need to get every one of them, like this little Elijah. They arrested his mama.
Immediately.
And her boyfriend, and throw them in jail. They need to do these two, and they need to get Candace and Dawn.
Candace and Dawn has been a long time coming. I'm so disappointed in the direction of that case. I can tell you that.
Hey, Lord, we need to get us some new. They need to clear out all of these law enforcement offices and put people in there that's got God-fearing in them to say, hey, this has got to stop. God's not pleasing with all these children being mistreated and their lives ended like this.
Yeah, I've been talking to a few of my content creators, and I'm trying to work on, I haven't really brought this out too much, but trying to work on possibly a collaboration for TBI, a protest at TBI, but it not being just for one singular case, it being for all the cases that are unsolved, you know, for all the victims that need justice. I mean, it's getting ridiculous in Tennessee. I'm sorry, it just is.
It's a shame. It's a shame. And like that little Ryland, I mean, common sense is not going to, water's not going to take your blue jeans off when you got a belt on. Or your boots like that as tight as they are to be caught up in the riverbank.
Yeah, they won't explain anything for him. They just want to move the case along and not have to explain it. I'm sorry. I think that is the most unprofessional thing that you can possibly do as a law enforcement body, is to close a case before you have even the toxicology reports, because you don't know what's in those toxicology reports and what happens if you find out there's rufinol in it. Doesn't seem like that would have been, that even if he would have died naturally, that right there is still murder.
Yes, it is. Well, I want to apologize. I want to apologize to Seth and about all of these law enforcement, how they're doing. I know he's getting disheartened.
I don't know how that man keeps going, but you know what? It's even like Michael Monkey Vaughn, right?
Yeah.
I never understood how Brandy kept going, but that lady just kept going and going and going and going and going. And I'm telling you, when I was there with her, you could see she was broken, she was exhausted, she was tired, she was weak. You know, she was ready to give up, you know?
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Well, I've never gone through anything like that, and I don't want to, and I wished everybody wasn't able to have to go through all that stuff. I mean, evil is around everywhere. I mean, people are so evil, and they could take somebody's life and not even think about it anymore. About hurting a child. I mean, God, he says, suffer the little children to come unto me and forbid them not, for as such is the kingdom of heaven. Yeah. Every child that's born is a gift from God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless what kind of shape it might be in, the autism is still a gift from God.
Yep.
And we need to count ourselves lucky. And people, I mean, go ahead, Hattie.
I was going to say that's kind of why I feel like that this is a situation with Chris, because I don't feel like this was planned. It feels, to me, it just seems like it all blew up. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? And that's, and the only person that appears to have this explosive personality is Chris.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I think what they need to do is look from what happened from that day on Sunday. If they could go back from Sunday on back for a couple or 2 or 3 weeks back and find out what had went on in their lives back in them days, you know, and let it work its way up to that morning. Because we don't know what if they were into it over the phone or if they was fussing and carrying on. And I mean, her and Chris, we don't know anything about what went on before that until we found out that he was missing, that's all. And that's just, I get up every morning and say, Lord, let it be the day that we hear something.
Right.
But Betty, I'll let you go, honey, and I appreciate you listening to me.
All right, Linda Lou. Well, we love you. You take care. And
I
God
love
bless.
you too. I love you too, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's such a doll. Oh, we love Linda Lou. We love Linda Lou. She is such a doll. So, you know, it's really hard because I do hear the cries of, you know, the Rogers family. You know, I do. I hear the cries of them wanting it to keep it about Sebastian rather. And we want to stay focused on Sebastian. It's hard because this is Betty. This is Betty.
This is BJ from Tennessee.
Hey, BJ, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good.
I live 70 miles south from Hendersonville, but I have a nephew that lives up there. Did you watch Justin Sunday night?
I'm pretty sure because I've been in Justin's chat quite a bit with this case specifically.
Where he was going over, as everybody's starting to say, Aunt Nancy's interview with them.
Yes.
Where he caused the timelines and everything.
Yes. But Chris still wouldn't answer anything about his timeline.
No, but Justin caught that. Chris said that he was there that morning before the accident.
I believe he was. And I said that if we go back to my very original, I think one of my very first videos I made, I said, I know construction workers, and it seems like he would have left late Sunday night or really, really, really early in the morning, Monday morning.
And so he told that, or it may have been the wife told, that he didn't arrive till 1 o'clock in Hendersonville. But he said plainly he was there before the accident.
Yeah.
That morning before the accident.
I'll have to go back and check that out because, I've always thought that Chris was there, and I always felt like he was saying he wasn't there because of this, because I just don't see, I have my opinions, and I just see through things a little differently, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Justin, I watch you, Justin, and Dolly. And Justin just kept playing it over and over. He said, listen, he's saying he was there just before that. And then today, Dolly was showing on Chris's arm. It looks like Sebastian's teeth marks on his arm. He could have put him in a headlock or something.
That's what I think he did, because everything's like this. So he would have been around the backside of Sebastian and that's what I've said, in order to get those marks on where they are on his arm, Sebastian would have had to have been in front of him.
Yeah. And Sebastian tried to bite him, and he may have put his fingernails in him too, to try to get away.
Yeah, but here's the problem I have is I went back to that interview, and this is just in all reality. I went back to that interview, the one with the green, we showed it up here yesterday, and I tried to stop it and look at those marks, and it's hard to see those marks on here. Like, they had to, take a screenshot, put it in HD format. They had to highlight those areas. Then they had to put filters on it. I don't like doing any of that modification because you never know if it's picking up different shadowing, making stuff like that. So I don't like the filters. I like to be able to look at something and see what I need to see before the filters are used, and then use the filters. And the problem is when I went there, I could only see faint scratches on his arms in the interview photo versus all of that bruising and scratching and stuff. So I don't know how to feel about that now.
Yeah, well, Dolly just took the picture of it and saved it, and then he blew it up some. And he's trying to say that's dog bites.
No, he said it was dog scratches, and I believe that it's not dog scratches from what I see.
It's not a scratch. And it's not a dog bite. I have been bit by my dog that I had. Well, he died in 2015, but I was bit by him because he was hit by a car, and I picked him up, and I picked him up wrong, and he bit me in the shoulder. That is not a dog bite. That is a human bite. You could tell by the teeth, the way that Sebastian's teeth were on looking at the picture, it was on the left side, but I figured by the way camera turns it was his right side. But if you look at the teeth, you can tell that that's Sebastian's top teeth.
But see, the problem I have is, law enforcement had to have seen those markings on him when they interviewed him, why didn't,
Same reason that everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't say that all Tennessee officers are, I'll just say it, are stupid,
right.
but there are quite a few of them that are.
Right. They just don't think. They're just not thinking clearly. Because
They don't care.
because,
The fact is, they just don't care.
I keep thinking about like circumstantial evidence and stuff like that, and everybody tries to act like circumstantial evidence isn't evidence. It's evidence, right? And so I'm looking
Yeah.
at all this circumstantial evidence, and it's like, and I get it. I mean, I understand that it's not enough. I do understand that what we're looking at and what we're seeing and what we're feeling is just not enough. It's not enough to rock the boat. It's not enough to shut them up. You know what I'm saying? If they're cooperating,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what law enforcement wants. They want them to continue to cooperate. They're going to keep pushing them
So
until
that
they
they'll
stop.
feel something.
Mhm.
So that they hopefully will accidentally let something slip.
Yeah. Exactly. Or
But-
make a mistake. Because I think they've already made some mistakes in my opinion. But law enforcement, what I would just expect is after a month them coming out and saying like they did in the Idaho 4, look, we're in like even in Michael Monkey Vaughn when Chief Huff came out and said, look, it's not the parents, we're looking in a different direction. And he was standing next to next, body to body, side by side with the parents. When he said that, law enforcement ain't doing that. To us is telling us something, and law enforcement is telling us not to look at it. But we know that law enforcement would be standing with the family right now if they truly believe that this child was abducted or just ran away from home.
That's right. If they believe the family, they don't believe the family.
Exactly.
And I don't only think that it's Chris and the mama. No, I don't think the daddy, the biological daddy, has anything to do with
I
it.
don't either. There's no. The reason why I don't think
Chris-
so is because I think he's on camera the entire night.
Yeah, but Chris's mom and stepdad
They're a little weird.
live in the house that belonged to Katie when her and Chris got married.
Well, she's She's in
And-
first position on the mortgage, so it tells me she's either the breadwinner or has better credit or both.
I don't know, but I have a feeling that his parents are helping cover up everything.
Oh yeah, mom. That mom's insane. I always try to put myself in certain positions because I think my family's pretty bold. I think my family's more kamikaze than other families, and I look at situations and I'm like, would my family do that if I was in their situation? And I'm thinking, no.
Mine would turn me in a heartbeat.
Damn right, mine would too.
I'm
No, actually,
a
I
country
take that
girl
back.
all the way.
My mother would beat the crap out of me, then turn me in.
Well, my daddy used to be deputy sheriff here, and God rest him, he's been gone since '89. But he absolutely, it didn't matter if you were his kid.
Mm-hmm.
He would take you there and put you in a pen himself.
I told you about the time I got caught stealing a pack of cigarettes. My parents made me take my piggy bank with $21 in it. This is back in like
I remember that.
1986, 1987. And, so $21 is like $100. And I stole a pack of cigarettes. So not only did they make me take my piggy bank, they made me take the cigarettes back, give it to the clerk. They made me hand the clerk all of my money. And they told the clerk if they want to call the cops on me, then they would be okay with that.
That's the way my daddy was. I'm telling you. Back then, parents were more stricter.
Yes.
Nowadays, kids get away with, I hate to say it, but they get away with murder.
Because the world's got parents convinced that they're not allowed to rear their child, and if they do, they're going to jail. That is the most untrue statement ever. I don't give a rat's ass who you are. If I have a grandchild in my custody and they are acting up and I want to whip their ass, they're getting an ass whipping. Whether the rest of the world likes it or not, call the cops on me and I'll tell that cop exactly what I said. They were messing up. They got popped. You got a problem with that? Clink, clink, baby. Let's go.
I I didn't have kids. I had cancer growing up. So I babysat my nieces and nephews. And they will tell you to this day, and they're the older ones, they're in their 40s now.
Mhm.
And they will tell you, we are well behaved because my aunt used a spoon and whoop my butt when I needed it. She taught me right from wrong.
Those damn wooden
And
spoons.
they will come out and tell you, I didn't beat them, but they did get maybe one or two, little pops on the butt.
I'm telling you, I'm breaking
And
every wooden spoon across every house across America. Wood spoons, no more.
this wasn't a wooden one. This was a plastic one. It was a spoon I used to make my tea, but after, maybe twice of doing it, they knew if I went to the kitchen, they knew, I won't do that no more. They learned, and they learned what's right and what's wrong.
You know what I learned growing up?
What's that?
That you want to pick the thicker switch.
Well, they grew up. I grew up in the country where there were plenty of switches and we had to go get them. But they grew up in towns.
I only made the stupid mistake of picking because you think small. I was a little kid. I have a small mind. I'm looking at it. I'm like, ooh, this is a nice small switch. This will be perfect. This won't hurt. Mm-mm.
And it hurt worse than others.
Sure did.
Oh, I remember that well. Well, I'll let you go. I won't keep you.
Right,
have a good evening, baby.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If there are any kids from our kids club watching, just remember, if mommy and daddy tell you to pick a switch, you want the fattest one you can find, okay? Don't be a Bullhorn Betty and get the little thin one that looks really cute, because I'm going to tell you, that one hurts the worst. Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I want to thank you. Don't forget about the drop. It's going to be in about an hour. I want to give it some time to let this go through. So in about another hour or two, it's already in my spool. I just need to click it over from private to, which is going to be basically what we talked about. So hopefully you guys can catch it. Up. We got a special guest. We got a special guest calling in. Mama Bullhorn. Up. Mama Bullhorn was calling in, and then she decided not to call in anymore. I guess she doesn't love her daughter. I guess Mama Bullhorn doesn't love her daughter. Still not ringing? Really? Mom? You're gonna make me call you back? Really? Sometimes you're stubborn as a mule, Mother. Oh, there you are. Now you decide to call. So now you decide to call back. Great. No, I'm just joking. Hi, Mom.
Hi, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. The volume, I cannot hear you.
Then
Your
you
volume.
need to turn your volume up on your end. My volumes are all up on my end.
Well,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm talking about on the TV. I'm sorry, not on the phone, on the TV.
I know, but I can hear myself in the background.
No, I've got it blasting, that's why.
Maybe I need to get you some earwax removal. Earwax removal?
No. That is the last thing you suggest to a parent, okay? Now, your stepdad, yes.
Oh,
he
so
does need some. He never hears anything I say.
So I broke down and finally ordered Firehouse today. I didn't want to cook, so I'm eating.
Oh, I made some of the best.
I don't want to hear my mom's cooking at home when I'm stuck at home for a month by myself.
Okay. I saw somebody you just posted. They probably won't get arrested because it's just like Don and Candace.
Yeah, if he's
absolutely.
not bound. Absolutely.
Tennessee is a kill your kid, get away with it state. I swear to the Lord.
It's just if you can hide the body well enough state. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's bad. It's so bad. and no one's taking it seriously.
Well, we used to be
Except
like
that
that here in the state of Florida too, back in the 80s, about the 70s, 80s, and I think we started making some changes in the late 80s and into the 90s when the whole, drug, the crack epidemic started hitting. But we've changed laws.
The year you were born is the day Adam Walsh went missing, and it all changed after that. Everything changed.
Right.
That was the turning point. But none of the other states seem to give a darn about children. I just don't get it. I do not understand.
That's why I keep saying that we all need to band together. We need to get everybody into their county and city meetings and stuff like that, and just start making this the drumbeat. Every you know how me and Glenn get shit done here in Manatee County? It's every single week after week.
You show up and say the same thing
over and over and over again until they get so sick and tired of hearing us that they decide to throw some money at it to make us shut up. That's the only thing that works.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I think absolutely the worst on children care, or children's safety, or children's searches, or anything to do with children. They don't care. It's like they look at it and then they let it go.
It just seems to me, this is just my perspective, and it's not to beat up on the good law enforcement in Tennessee. It's actually to try to make a difference and get them better funding so they're not all working themselves to death. But, at the end of the day, we've got to start looking at these cases and finding out how to resolve them. But if there's something, it shouldn't be how well can you hide a body to avoid prosecution. It should be, are there circumstantial evidence that leads us to believe that you did it, and if so, how was it done? Put it before the court.
Exactly.
If they walk, they walk. But this whole thing about keeping these things open until affinity is getting really defeating and hopeless and helpless.
Well, I know I'm going to make some enemies by saying this, but it's the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
They bootstrapped law enforcement so tight that the law enforcement can't do a heck of a whole lot. A lot of these states, they have to have proof there was a crime. They have to have evidence that there was a body somewhere,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. In Florida, you're going to go to jail no matter what.
We have so many laws here. If they think you are guilty of a crime, trust me, you're going to jail. They'll get you on something. It doesn't matter what.
We have too many Grady Juddettes.
Yeah, if they sniff your associated, we detain people around here. We don't play. And I guess that's my problem, is I've lived in Florida so long, and we are so rough when it comes to our law enforcement, our laws and keeping law and order. We're not like the Georgia State Police. But
I know, but you know what? Over in Polk County, if there's a chance you're, Grady Judd said,
they'll throw you in jail for 48 hours. They'll detain your ass.
Well, if somebody's coming up to you and threatening you, shoot and ask questions later. Protect yourself or your property. And he said, you'll never go to jail for that.
Mm-mm.
But he's fighting a horrible war over there of child abductions and sex trafficking and all that. He's fighting a horrible war over there.
I get it. But all these people are thinking all these kids that are disappearing are getting in the underworld. No, they're not. These people these kids that are in the underworld will be put there by their parents. These kids that are missing, nobody's going to go through this to hide their child. Everybody was like, well, maybe Sebastian's over at their aunt's house. Did anybody think about that? Why would the aunt have Sebastian? Why would the aunt be putting this family through? None of that makes sense. I don't get it.
No, I'm not for over a month.
Yeah.
No.
No.
They researched everything.
If it made sense, like if there was something there, like we could even try to stretch it with Summer Wells, because Summer Wells was like, people could stretch that somebody would want to get her out of that environment. So, I mean, we could kind of,
Yeah.
but with Sebastian, it's hard. He didn't have anybody. Why would an aunt take him, and why would the aunt allow the stepfather and the father and the mother to go through all of this?
Exactly. And the other thing is, you've got too many examples, okay? You've got Summer Wells. I think Don took her and dumped her in Utah. The second one is Michael Monkey Vaughn. I think Stacy and Wonders, I don't want to say Wonders, Wanderers took him to Texas when they went to Texas
Or
for that week.
somewhere along that
Along that line.
Right, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Right,
And
they
I
just
don't
seemed
understand.
awfully relieved after that September trip. It just seemed like
Yes,
they all seemed like they had a weight off their
exactly.
shoulders.
Yes, even their friends said that. And then you've got the Proudfoots, and they go to Mississippi. What is the thing about going over to? Okay, first of all, how did they get to go out of the state if they're being investigated?
No. You can be. It doesn't matter if you're investigated. I could be investigated until the cows come home. They can't stop me from moving around this country. The only way they can stop you from moving around this country is by detainment, arrest, or court order. Anybody can move. It doesn't matter. You can be under the most. You can be the biggest, largest person of interest. Unless there's a court order telling you to stay there, they can't force you.
Well, how do they know that kid wasn't in the damn RV and they took him with them?
I don't know. I would probably say Tennessee Bureau of Investigations probably needs to do more thorough and initial investigations into
They didn't
facts.
search the RV.
And this is the same bullshit that they did with Summer Wells, too. Their policies need to change in Tennessee. They've got it wrong. They've got it way, way wrong.
I was listening to, I forgot the name, one of the prominent investigators, and they said searching 5 places isn't what you would consider a serious search. You know, search the garage, search the house, and search vacant land.
They haven't even done forensics. They haven't done forensics on the cars. They haven't done forensics on the RV. They haven't done forensics in the house. It's been a fucking month, excuse my language, a freaking month, and not one speck of forensic.
And it's
have
too
been
late.
Done. It's not too late. It's not too. That's the beauty of forensics. It's never too late. I mean, in some things, you know, there's certain things that do get trampled on, but I have a funny feeling with the carpet being there, the room, that whatever forensic value, they're not going to be able to scrub away.
All right, girlfriend. I just wanted to give my 2 cents and let you know I'm still alive, and I'm angry that you still don't have a car.
I know. I don't want to talk about it. Hopefully I'll get it this week. If not, I'm going to borrow your car because I'm going to search on Saturday.
Okay. That's fine.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Ma.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Now that's officially the last call for the show. I just want to thank everybody that decided to swing by and spend some time with me. I hope you guys learned something. We just have a lot of questions related to the Sebastian Rogers case. Do we have any new information that's going to help find him? No. The only way we're going to find him is putting boots on the ground. So, guys, it looks like this weekend we're putting a big push, a big forth, an effort. We want everybody that's in the Tennessee area or surrounding areas to be present. If you have the ability to be out there and help this weekend, I'm going to ask that everybody get out there and help this weekend. This is a 15-year-old boy. He's disappeared under suspicious circumstances. I don't give a crap what law enforcement says. I have a brain and I can think for myself, and I can say something doesn't add up, something stinks to high heaven, and by God, Seth needs our help. And I think every social media, even the ones that don't usually get off their butts and get out there, I'm praying that you guys do. You know, we've got a lot of content creators in the state of Tennessee. This weekend, we need you, your platform, and your people. And we need them to show up and show out. So let's get it together. Let's plan on rolling into town. Let's plan on giving 1,000%. And let's plan on helping. because this family does need help. You know, we're not just up here talking heads. We actually provide help. This is social media. We rock. We're bold. We're powerful. And we show up. So I'm going to ask the people here that are watching this, the watching on the replay, and all of the creators that are out there. I'm going to ask that you use your platform to advocate that there is going to be a major push this weekend for the search of Sebastian Rogers. And I'm going to ask each and every one of the content creators out there, please tell your people we need them to show up. We need them to show up. All right, guys, if you guys want to see me, and I don't know how many content creators are going to be out there this weekend, but I have to think that there's going to be a lot come out, hang out with some of your favorite content creators while we make a difference in Sebastian Rogers' life as we kick this off and we start looking for him. We are going to go out there. I promise you, I've got, if you guys are in my crew, I've got walkie-talkies, I've got gloves, I've got everything that you could possibly need to do a successful search. And we need to identify some areas, but you know what? I'm going to follow whatever the lead is out there. We just need to show up. We need to show up in force, and we need to give 1,000%. So anybody that wants to come out there, I'll be out there this weekend. I will get you guys an address where you guys can all meet, but we are doing this for Seth. We are doing this for Sebastian, and they need your help. They need my help. They need our help. Let's do this. All right, guys, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, please be kind to one another. Take care, and God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.